Hi everyone, it's Thomas Patrick up with KREM Meteorologist. Doing something a little bit different today. As you see, I'm well outside the studio and actually enjoying a nice lunch walk at Finch Arboretum. And I thought just share and take in the fall colors with all of you. So today we're going to be walking the trails at Finch Arboretum and really just enjoy all the fall colors and scenery that our beautiful city has to offer today. So come on, let's get going. I've been loving the fall colors and honestly the weather here in Spokane the last couple weeks. October has been kind of a warm start to the month here. No surprise if you remember how warm the month of September was. But the fall colors are just getting going as well. It's been pretty nice. Honestly, loving to see those deciduous trees change from their pure green to yellows and reds. I think there's a few reds in the distance. The sun glaring pretty bright. Hopefully we'll walk past a few trees that are absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, the weather's been plenty warm recently. Funny enough, I'm filming this on October 9th. Forecast today is almost 80 degrees, so maybe not exactly super fall-like. Just a little bit of the colors just popping in on the trees. But what I think is funny about today being one of the warmer days that we've had this entire October is that it's today's date that is actually the average first freeze date for all of Spokane. That's right, October 9th. Average first freeze would have been today. Now that's obviously the average of all the years prior. Some years it happens much earlier, like in September. Some years it happens much later. Let's face it, we're probably on for a later than average freeze. I believe the coldest it's been has been 39 or 38 degrees, which actually happened earlier this week, but not exactly close enough to get to that freezing point, 32 degrees. I didn't even see frost on the ground that Monday morning. I was looking for it, but yeah, not quite that cold. So today's gonna be almost 80. Funny enough, the record high is 81. And that just keeps everything maybe a little bit greener a little bit later in the season. Typically when we get our best fall colors, actually does coincide a lot with that first frost, that first hard freeze of the season. And I mean, if you see this tree right here, I mean, yeah, there's a little bit of yellow right there. But the rest of this tree is just completely green. And it's just taking advantage of all the warm weather that we've had. And not just in October, but September as well. September was our record warmest September ever in Spokane history. So to see more green in October this year, at least 2025, doesn't surprise me at all. Moose on the loose. Well, we know it's not uncommon for Spokane to get a few moose visiting. Wouldn't be surprised here at Finch Arboretum. But I think we're gonna actually see some turkeys. Let's be a little patient here. Get the right shot?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Enjoy the day, everyone. couple other photographers out here, which is always nice. I was just about to mention, it is not uncommon for the South Hill to be visited from the legendary South Hill moose. I wonder if these are the legendary South Hill turkeys. There you are. Didn't expect to see that today on the Fall Colors tour. Beautiful. We'll keep on walking, because again, we would love to see some great fall colors. So of course the trees will change colors when we get to some colder days, longer nights. Just a little bit of yellow and orange. I mean, beautiful, but it's just that little branch out of this whole tree that is honestly still pretty green. So when that chlorophyll breaks down, and the chlorophyll obviously is the green part of anything, I mean, any kind of plant, the grass, the trees, the leaves, that's what we see as green, is the chlorophyll. But it breaks down in the fall because it just gets a little less sunlight. I mean, not today. That sun is supplying all the energy that chlorophyll needs to keep going. And that's why it actually still looks green, even though we're in the second week of October. If we got some much, much colder nights, colder days, even cloudier days, that would signal to these trees and each individual leaf that, it's time. It's time to shut off those energy production systems and go dormant for the winter time. Kind of like hibernation, right? Obviously, if the trees themselves don't have to work themselves ragged for each and every leaf, then it can be a little bit more stable in the winter time. That's why they shed their leaves. So it's just a efficiency process. But when that chlorophyll breaks down, the sun still provides like some sugars, and it's those sugars that can still lead to very vibrant colors. Thus our yellows, goldenrods, orange, reds, purples, all those nice colors. Yeah, still just green. And all this warm weather, especially September, has just delayed it this year, for sure. Typically in Spokane, we average peak fall colors, I always say the second week of October. I think the official date is October 12th. But obviously, some trees will go faster than others. Some will just hang on to that green as long as possible. But when you have such warm weather like this, and especially September, our record warmest month, record warmest September ever, all that warmth just doesn't signal to the trees and the leaves to actually change their colors. And that trend has continued into October. So it's no surprise that we're probably in for a late peak fall foliage. I will say, though, there is an advantage to this. And the advantage is if we get a really steep change, like if we go from this 80-degree day to having our 32-degree lows, or that frost and freeze, every single tree here will start changing at the same time. And that will be important to really make a scene like this flourish. Because there are some times in some years where if you have this very slow, gradual change in the temperatures from the summer warmth to that cool fall, those trees just don't change at the same time, do they? You'll have a few trees go yellow right away and then just shed, while others are still green and waiting. And because the trees don't all go off at the same time, sometimes we don't get those brilliant fall colors. Here is probably the best tree I've seen so far on this walk. Look at that goldenrod yellow. That is beautiful. I've been seeing a lot more yellow this year than reds, though the reds are present. But yeah, this tree was ready. All the rest of them aren't. And that can be tough to get kind of that maximum fall color. But if we have a nice steep drop of our temperatures, all these trees will start to change at the same time. And that's what we want to see, is every single tree on the block be colorful. And then they'll all drop their leaves at the same time, and then we'll all have to rake a bunch in a couple of weeks. But because we're holding on to the sunshine as long as possible and this warmth, I think all these trees are going to go at the same time. And that will really maximize the beauty of the fall season. I'm walking towards this tree here. This one is, well, I don't want to be mean to the tree. It tried to give us some color. Either it's like late, but I don't know. There is a lot of brown on this one, unfortunately. Yeah, if you look at some of these leaves, they're actually still green, but they're just all eroding away at the tips here. Unfortunately, I have seen a lot of trees like this. I mean, what color would you classify this? I mean, for me, it's brown. And that's because of the drought. I think it's no surprise that we have not had the best of it in terms of rain in the summer. The summer's our dry season anyways, so we kind of know what to expect. But this has been a particularly dry summer. Only a few spots of rain here or there. You know, those you get your scattered showers and storms, but that doesn't cover the region. And when you have kind of a severe drought, you tend to not get the best fall colors. This is looking a lot better. That has some lovely yellow. Hidden. Hidden behind all the green still. But yeah, since our drought was so bad, that will have an effect on those fall colors. And it was, as I showed you, we're gonna have a lot more browns. So while I do think a lot of our trees will start to change their fall colors simultaneously, the best color might not come out this year because of our drought. That drought season, or summer season, is gonna mute a lot of these colors. Here's another example, probably these next two trees/bushes kind of by us. You can tell this one probably would be a nice red. You see, well, some of the flowers are still giving it some red. Honestly, the leaves are pretty green here. This one hasn't really changed yet. The one in front of me here, that one's looking a little more, a little rough. But this would be the effect of the drought. Really just dulling a lot of our maximum colors. And we're gonna end up with a lot more that looks like this than normal. As you can see, it should still be green, but it's definitely looking pretty dark. Like some of these leaves, like this one back here, like that should be a really vibrant orange, but definitely looking pretty dull, unfortunately. So that's kind of our two main factors, is our super warm summer that we had, And I know we didn't hit 100 degrees, but with each and every day being so consistently warm, especially in September, that doesn't help. And the drought just took advantage of that. So I think we'll have all these trees be colorful at the same time, but not every tree may exhibit that maximum foliage. That's just the direction that we're leaning into. Since we should have a pretty cold weekend ahead of us, especially for high temperatures. Oh wow, look at that. Now that is gorgeous. I love to see that. But I'm confident that our fall colors will start to peak probably in about a week. So instead of the second week of October, it'll be like third week of October. I'm gonna swing around the sunny side of this one. That is the best goldenrod that I've seen so far. What kind of tree is this? I wish I had that app that tells you what trees they are. I'm not an arborist, but wow. Yeah, that's nice. Oh. And against the blue skies, there's your postcard. Yeah, so I'm like, not every tree is gonna be brown, right? We'll still have some lovely colors. Just some trees might not fare as good as others. I'm gonna go around to the shaded side of the tree. And it might be a little bit harder to tell because the sun is glaring. Oh, this looks pretty good. I was a little worried that these might not be as colorful, but I think it's just because it's in the shade and not so much that it's like the shaded side of the tree didn't get as much sun, etc. No, pretty good. But yeah, just a recap. Warm September, warm October will likely leave us with a later than average fall foliage. So probably third week of October. I'd suspect probably something around like the 18th will probably be our best fall colors. A few of them will be bright, some brighter than others because of the drought. But we still live in a lovely area in the inland Northwest. There's some red. And while Washington is the evergreen state, just remember, we've got our fair share of trees that will offer us some very nice looks. I think I can get a little bit closer to that red one. Yes. Oh, wow. Wow. Oh my goodness, that is spectacular. It looks like sherbet ice cream. Hopefully you enjoyed that little walk around Finch Arboretum. This one's my favorite. Love to see the yellows and reds. Again, fall colors will peak the third week of October this year in Spokane. Might be a little bit more muted because of the drought, but still a lovely area here in the inland Northwest. We may be the evergreen state, but we still get our fair share of fall colors. Hopefully you enjoyed that maybe peaceful walk outside the studio, enjoying a very warm day here. Make sure to stay cozy though, enjoy those fall colors. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching KREM 2 Plus, everybody. I'll see you later. Have a lovely and wonderful day.